Hi, everyone. I'm Mrs. Lebowski. I teach KA here at Thomas Fitzwater. I've been teaching kindergarten for 18 years, and before that, I taught third and sixth grade. We're so happy to have your Thomas Fitzwater Cheetahs with us this year.
Hey everyone, I'm Mrs. Joyce. I've taught kindergarten for a really long time, actually longer than 18 years. I'm also an Upper Dublin graduate, and both of my children attend the School District of Upper Dublin. I am so excited to be back in kindergarten working with your kids. They're going to do some amazing things this year. Wait till you see.
Hi everyone, I'm Mrs. Marr. I teach KC. This is my second year teaching kindergarten and I love being at Thomas Fitzwater. So this is our adjusted kindergarten schedule. So this is what it looks like while the kids are in school for the half day. We start with some morning work while they're getting in and getting settled, and then we'll go on to the calendar and our morning meeting. And then we'll do our foundations program, which we'll talk a little bit more about in a bit, but that's basically our letters and phonics program. And some of your students might already know all their letters and their sounds, but the foundations program allows them to really dive into each letter and the sound and how to build words, building their skills for decoding and encoding as they move on through their time here at Thomas Fitzwater. We have one recess and we do math and they pack up and go home.
We decided to include the kindergarten full day schedule with knowing that there's the possibility that our schedule could change a little bit, but we wanted to give you an idea of what it looks like. There's definitely a lot of components to it, more than the half day. You'll notice that we'll start off with some morning work or a choice board that the kids could do, moving into the calendar and a morning meeting. And the calendar, we talk about patterns and the number of days that we've been in school. We'll have some kind of activity like a rhyming activity or a making words activity, a sight word. We'll move into foundations. Our Fontes and Pinnell language arts, we always have a read aloud or a poem with some kind of activity. Journal writing is going to look a little bit different this year because the kids will be doing that more independently, but we'll still use the kid writing model where the children will think of their sentence and they will sound out the words, they'll stretch them out, write down what they hear, they'll utilize the word wall, and then there's some adult writing that goes underneath. Math, you're going to hear about, we have the Eureka Math. We're working through Module 1 right now, and we always have a special snack and recess. So we jam a lot into our full day. Your kids will come home and they'll definitely be tired when we come back to full day.
And here are some of the traits that we hope to see in your students this year. This year, the kindergartners have their own desks, and then they have a marker box and a smaller box for their math manipulatives. They have their own Play-Doh in their desk, their own whiteboards. They are responsible for keeping all of those things organized. If they lose one of those things, it's really going to be difficult to get that job done that they need to for our lesson. And they are responsible for kind of organizing their desk and keeping their materials clean. We do expect that the children raise their hands when they need help. As you can imagine, we are outnumbered here at school. So there's only one of us, and we need them to raise their hand rather than to run up or to yell out, help me, help me, help me. So if you could kind of just reinforce that at home, we would really appreciate that. It is also very important that the children learn to follow multi-step directions. We will start with just one direction, and then we're working up to 1, 2, 3 directions. But we want them to listen to all of the directions before they start that first direction. Okay, so it might be to put your name on the paper and then to, just for example, draw a circle on the paper. And then the last thing that you have to do is write your numbers 1 to 10. but they might just start with putting their name right on the paper and then not hear the rest of those directions. So we really want to encourage them to listen to all of those directions. We also, believe it or not, they will become much more independent. They're coming to us, we feel like, as babies, but they will leave and earn that independence and accountability while they're here. So we are trying to instill that in them too. You will hear us and them probably say, I need to do my kindergarten best. We are always stressing that for them to put their hardest effort into everything that they do. And we do understand that mistakes will happen. We do tell them that, and sometimes we make mistakes here at school on purpose so that they can see that. It's not that you made that mistake, it's how you fix that mistake and how you can turn it into something else. And one of the biggest things that we say here is we don't want to hear I can't. It's I can't yet. Okay, so if you could just kind of reinforce those things with them at home, we would really appreciate that. We always are trying for our kindergarten best.
So we did touch on the language arts program when I was going over the full day schedule. But just so that you're aware, the Fontes and Pinnell classroom is filled with fabulous picture books with lots of different genres. The children will be exposed to a variety of text. It'll help expand their vocabulary, and it will increase their ability to think, talk, and write about the text. You will be amazed to see what they can do throughout the year.
And here we have our kid writing grid, which you probably have recognized from our virtual learning: the skyline, the plane line, the grass line, and the worm line. The kids will be using this for their letter formation. We have their whiteboards that have these same kind of guidelines on there. And you may have even recognized, if we go to the next slide here, our pencil grip. I still hear the kids kind of talking about that. Oh, Mrs. Lebowski, you didn't hold your pencil right on that video that you sent home. This is how you do it. So remember, just pinch that pencil and then flip it back. And we don't want to see the kids grabbing that pencil. Okay. And there was one more thing that I wanted to add to my other slide. It's fine. We can stay right here. But I forgot to mention that as a kindergarten team, we really feel that it's important to take risks. So we want the kids to kind of come out of their comfort zone a little bit, and we're going to push them so that they're able to do that. We don't want it just to be, I like the summer, I like the baseball game. Let's try and add to that something that they're not very comfortable with, and take those risks and then see their smiling faces when they're able to complete that. All right, sorry about that. That was just a digression, and now we're back onto foundations.
Well, wait a second, Mrs. Lebowski.
Oh, no, what?
When we are doing our writing, we need to always make sure that we start either the skyline or the plane line, because parents, believe it or not, no letters start from the worm line or the grass line. We always start from the top and pull down, and on some letters we retrace, but never do we start from the bottom and work our way up. So that's a habit that takes a while for the children to learn, a habit that we need to break, actually. I'll just put it that way. So we need to do a lot of practice on the correct place to start forming those letters.
And just one more thing, these are the letter cards that we use to teach the letters and sounds. It's really important that the students echo us exactly the way that we pronounce these letters. So for example, the T, they might have previously been taught the T makes the T sound, but we want to make sure that we clip it and say T. So that's one thing that you can kind of ask them what they're learning in Foundations and what the sounds, the letters that they're learning, and they'll tell you by saying the letter, the picture that you see, and then the sound. Here is our math. We use Eureka. There are 6 modules that we'll go through throughout the year. Right now, we are working through Module 1, just learning how to correctly write our numbers and recognize a group of objects and count the objects correctly and in different patterns and shapes.
Our science, we actually have 3 units. Weather is a unit that we actually focus on all year long for obvious reasons. Energy is the perfect unit for the winter months. We talk a lot about push and pull. We talk about inclined planes, forces. And then in the spring, we work through numerous life cycles, including a life cycle of a butterfly, a ladybug, a plant, and a frog, to name a few. The kids absolutely love all 3 of our units. There's a lot of hands-on activities and just different things. And each unit allows the children to use their experiences in our discussions. One of the things that you've noticed, I'm sure, through the few weeks that we've been in here in school is using Mystery Science. Mystery Science and Doug have amazing lessons that we incorporate into our science.
And finally, our social studies is building a classroom community. And as you can see, we have started that already, virtually and in the classroom. We also learn family, friends, and me, seasons and holidays. Now, all of these themes, they will be incorporated into our Fontes and Pinnell classroom and our independent or shared reading books.
Thank you so much for listening. We are really excited to get to work with your students and your child. Please don't hesitate to reach out to us if you have any more questions or concerns. Our emails are listed right here. Have a great night. Thank you so much.